Alrighty, hello my friends. Thank you for joining me for some draw along fun and games today. It's a new week. We have 2 episodes of the show back to back as we always do, Wednesday and Thursday at this time. Remember to bring the kids. This is an all ages show. Try and keep the drawings nice and simple for everybody to follow along with and enjoy. And remember, you can always watch these back because they're archived on Behance and on YouTube as well. Just search for Draw Along Kyle and you're gonna find over 100 episodes of this show to make you happy. How about that? All right, now to do these drawings, you're gonna have to have something to draw with, right? That could be a pencil, could be a pen, could be a crayon or a marker, could also be a microphone. You know, they're expensive, but microphones make a really cool mark when you draw with them. Just dip them in some house paint, and then when you drag them along on the paper, you get this kind of gritty texture to it. Now, you know, if your parents are professional recording artists and you use one of their fancy microphones, they might get upset, but when they see the drawing that you do, they're going to forget all about it and say, oh my gosh, you're an artistic genius, and we're so proud of you and we love you. See how easy that is? Yes, indeedy do. All right, folks. It's really beautiful outside. It's green here today. I love looking at the leaves coming back onto the trees. Makes me happy, makes me smile. But I have to ask you a question. Why did the leaf go to the doctor? Because he was feeling green. The jokes get better, I promise. Okay, it's time for us to do some drawing. I'll say hi to some folks in the chat while you get your materials and supplies. What's up, Umacorn and Aurelia? I hope I'm saying your name correctly. That's a cool name. And Uriel is here. What's up? And Golden and Sam and Steven and Afroha and Misty. All these nice folks. Mercurial's back. Ruth is here. We're all ready to do some drawing together, and so we're going to crack on with that. All right, now we have 3 simple things we do in these drawings every single week, and they are a straight line, a zigzag, and a curvilinear line. Okay, that could be a C curve, could look like a letter U. You get the idea. Now, today's drawing is going to start off with a straight line up and down. It's going to be a little longer than the average line we draw. Okay, check it out. I'm going to go all the way down like that. That's quite a ways to draw, I should say. Now, let me just slide that down for you because we're going to need some room. This drawing we're doing today is pretty much a square format. I'd say you want to leave yourself about this much room to draw, okay? Just to give you sort of an idea of how much space we're going to need for our drawing today. All right, now why did I do such a long line? Well, it's because I want to have room to do some stuff over here with this drawing today, okay? I want to have some room over here to check out what's going to happen because we're going to draw a subject here. But I got to tell you something. Today, when we do this from time to time, we're going to do a drawing that tells a story. One of the greatest things about drawing is you can tell stories without words. And so we're going to do a little drawing today that tells a story. All right, now I want you to travel about halfway down the length of this long line that we drew and do a little diagonal line like that, okay? Now look at the comparison there between those lines. You can see this is quite short compared to that. So keep that in mind when you're doing your drawing, okay? The next thing we're gonna do, I'll zoom in here so you can see this really clearly, is a C curve, all right? And it's gonna go interrupting this line here. It's gonna start about here, it's gonna come up and over to about there. So watch what we do. We're gonna come up and over and down to about there. All right, so now notice that this line here starts at this point and ends a little bit lower, okay? Something to notice when you're drawing that line. You ready to draw some triangles, folks? Here we go. Triangles are just zigzags that zig and zag twice, right? So here we go. We're going to come up this way, out this way, and down again. So zig, zag, zig, and a zig, and a zag, and a zig, okay? There's a zig there, there's a zag there. Well, that could be a zag, actually. I want to make sure I get my terminology right. So look at those triangles. Are they different from one another? They are indeed, right? Let me just, if you will indulge me, don't draw this line, but look with this. This one's kind of moving up that way. This one's kind of moving out that way. Okay? Just keep that in mind. All right, next we're going to do a little line that is, see this? See this line here? I want you to pretend it kind of continues, but it's going to do a little bit of a curve up like that. So it comes down and then it curves up that way. Interesting. All right, we're going to come back from here. We're going to line up pretty much with this line here. So imagine this is going to drop down to about there. And I just want to come to meet it with a very shallow curve like that. Okay, see that? Right to there. Don't forget to make your sound effects when you draw these. Alrighty, now from here, I'm going to draw a line down like so. And then I'm going to move it back up this way. Check it out. Up we go to there. All right, now right next to it, another little line like that. Very nice. Now follow this line right here, in, and stop right about here and make yourself a nice little dot like that. Simple as can be. How are we all doing, gang? How are we all doing in there? Ruth says, drawing on paper. That's the way to go. I love drawing on paper. Alrighty. Now, here come a few short lines. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. A little mouse right there. Got a little mouse, don't we? Pretty cool. All right, now what we're gonna do, I might have made this line a little long, by the way. Let me just shorten that. Doesn't matter, but you know. We are going to do a little U up here, okay? Upside down U, I should say. All right, that's one of our C curves. And what we want to do is we want to make that line drop down after the U. Okay, it's going to have another straight line. We want that to drop down about here, thereabouts, okay? So I'm giving myself a little dot just to remind myself, and I'm going to draw up from there like that. And notice these are the same height. Now I know where I'm going to connect when I make my U. So I come up and over and down and connect. Okay? There you go. All right, you ready for a very short line over here? Well, maybe not as short as this one, a little longer. But this line is not going to be a perfect 90-degree angle, no. Here's your 90. I should drop down a little bit. This is going to be a more obtuse angle. Okay, we're not saying that this line is stupid. I wouldn't say that to the line because I'm too nice, right? Carry along this way, pretend that line keeps going, and then right here behind this other paw, just draw a little line like that. Okay? All right, now we're going to leave a little space here, okay? And we'll throw in a couple of dots like this. Throw some over here. This just kind of helps us continue that line, but not make it so bold and so interesting that it gets distracting. All right, now I'm going to continue it over this way. I'm trying to keep that angle about the same. And then I'm going to pop up again all the way to about here. Okay, so that's the longest line we've drawn in the entire drawing. The longest line in the entire drawing. All right, so see what we did? We went this way, we gave it a couple little dots, right? And now we're going to have a big C curve. Now watch, the C curve is going to start about where the top of this mouse hole is, okay? And we're going to come around like this and down to here. All right, now if you want to break that up into two passes, you can do that. You can go like this, pause for a moment, pick up your pencil, come back around, and do that. We almost never do C curves that big, okay, on this show. If you've been watching, you know that. About halfway, okay, down, I want you to do this. We're going to do a triangle. We're going to come out and down, okay? And then up here, we're going to go out, and we're going to connect with that line right there, okay? I think we know what's going on here, don't we, gang? Here comes a big circle. Big circle. And inside of that, we put another little circle like that. Okay? 1, 2, 3 lines. And right here, I'm just going to suggest that there's another eye right there. Okay? See that? Shallow C curve. and then a 1, 2, 3. Alrighty. And then here, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3. The mouse has spotted the cat. This is the storytelling. And I think it'd be fun just from here to do this. Have a little S-curve kind of a line for the tail. Okay? Maybe the mouse is just stopping short of exiting the mouse hole because that cat is right there waiting. Okay? And you could do whatever you want to play with this and make it your own and tell more of a story with it if you like. But I love being able to tell a little story with a drawing, something simple, but there's a bit of a narrative there, right? We don't know what's going to happen next, okay? We don't know exactly what happened before, but we're in the moment right here. Something is happening, and you could take this story in any direction. You could. And it's fun to be able to do that with a few simple lines. Don't you agree? Good. I know you agree with me. Alrighty, gang. So it is time on the show for favorite books. And sometimes from this shelf behind me, this fancy, big, fat bookshelf behind me, I like to share with you some of my favorite books that come off of that shelf. And there are many. And today I have a very special one. This one's a little more sort of, I'd say, academic than the ones I usually share. And so why don't we take a look at it? Today's book is, can you see that? Color and Light by the great James Gurney. James Gurney. Now, what makes this book so special? Well, I will tell you. Those of you who are interested in learning about how to properly use color in your artwork, you gotta have this book. Okay, this is a masterpiece of writing on that topic. Most of the professional artists I know who work in designing and drawing for film and video games and book cover work and gosh, anything really, they have this book. And inside this book, you will find not only many, incredible, beautiful paintings, okay? Now, James Gurney is famous for having created the world of Dinotopia. Look at this. This is absolutely stunning. I don't know if you can see that. But he is able to paint anything on our planet or off our planet because he has such a strong command of color and light. And he breaks everything down in a scientific way so that you can really understand what you're seeing when you look at one color next to another color, and then what happens when you simply change one of those colors. What happens to the color that was next to it? It automatically takes on a different appearance. So it's things like that, talking about how colors look when they're next to one another, how colors look when they're surrounded by others, things like that. How to understand how to add color to the shadows that you paint so they're not just muddy and dark, but they actually have some vibrance to them. Oh my gosh, there's just so much in here. All kinds of theory about color wheels, right? And this is called Rethinking the Color Wheel. So talking about things you thought you knew and then sort of blowing your mind with stuff that you didn't know before. And boy, I tell you, it is just full of nifty stuff. And if nothing else, you can just go through the book and enjoy looking at the paintings because there are so many cool paintings in here from the Dinotopia series where you have these dinosaurs just living among the people and going about daily life in these imaginary worlds, and it's just so cool. All right, so that is Color and Light by James Gurney, and it's a magnificent book. Can't recommend it highly enough. And please, if you're really serious about learning how to paint, if you're really serious about learning how to work in color, this book is, I would say, almost the only book you need. I mean, if you had to choose just one book, I would say this is the one. So, there you go, folks. There you go. Alrighty, now, bring back our little cat and mouse here. And it is time for us to go on to the animal and activity. Now, this is where one of you in the audience, I will select an idea of yours where you tell me an animal doing something funny or strange or weird or bizarre, unexpected. And just to give you an idea of what we've done in the past, last week we had this brontosaurus eating a pie, for example. That was really fun. Another one we had was this frog magician. So just throw all your ideas into the chat and I will look at the chat and see what you come up with. And then in the time that we have remaining, I'll go ahead and do my best to draw it and draw it well. And boy, I sure hope I can because, you know, it's always kind of a challenge, right? So I'm going to get my nice light blue color for sketching here. Alrighty. And make a new layer here in Photoshop. So I am ready to go. And I'll look at your suggestions in the chat. All right. We have a koala exercising. I like that. We have a centipede playing volleyball. That's pretty cool. We have a giraffe who is a thief. Oh, I like that. I can sort of imagine it being like a cat burglar with the little, you know, the little black mask sneaking around with some jewels. I think that's the one for me. I like that a lot. I'll show you some other ideas. We have a parachuting dog, an ostrich running a marathon, a dolphin swinging, and a panda doing exercise. These are all really fun. I love them. But I have to tell you, that giraffe idea really kind of grabbed me, and so I'm gonna see if I can make that work. There's also something funny about a giraffe trying to be sneaky about anything because they're so big, right? But here we go. All right, so we're gonna have the giraffe. Let's see, he's gonna be looking over his shoulder. Okay. I'm gonna have him kind of looking back, like, did anybody see me? You know, did I get away with it? Kind of do this here with a give him those give him that mask, like the burglar's mask kind of thing, and they'll just have two little eyes looking back like that. And then we'll get these in the right place here. Get that ear there, the other ear just kind of poking out back that way. And he's gonna be twisting his neck around this way, and it's gonna have on the maybe the turtleneck, you know, the sneaky cat burglar kind of a look. So one arm here holding the bag and the other arm right next to it like this, okay? Try and get the impression that he's got a bag full of stuff. Okay. Alrighty, he's got a tight grip on that bag. And he's sneaking away. Maybe it'd be funny to have him sort of like tiptoeing, I guess, if I could do that. I'm trying to imagine what that would look like. How would I do the tiptoe? Let's see if I can pull that off. Kind of like that. Have that other arm overlap the leg for comic effect. And then this leg is here. Actually, let's go ahead and point that toe as well. That makes it funnier. Okay, and I know they got big spots here and there in the necks and elsewhere, so just make sure we know that's a giraffe. Okay, there's that head turning. Actually have that twist look better if we have just a bit of the hair there, but then we have that disappear like that. Let's knock it back. Okay, we've got about 40% opacity, and ba-bum. Grab our darker color, and let's see what we can do with our line art. Here comes that mask. Just draw around the area there that I want to show through. Put that ear there, have the other one just poking out back that way. And then come back under here. And then over. And back. Have that neck sort of twisting, get the impression that it's try and throw a little wrinkle there in the elbow, just to suggest that, you know, the fabric is bending, right? I know these are fast drawings, but little things like that, if you have time to consider them, can make a difference, right? Let's throw that a little lower like that. We'll just kind of bundle it up. It's a little too even. There. All right. Maybe one more there. I'm so picky with these things, these shapes and all that. It's a good thing these are fast drawings, otherwise I'd sit there and I'd overthink so many of the lines I draw. Know what I mean? All right, let's get this other leg coming up back this way. I'm gonna tuck that arm back this way and just assume that he's got his arm out, kind of like that. All right, and then we'll throw this other foot down here. And we're bending it more than it could bend, you know, it's that sort of cartoon kind of bend that you see. Actually, let's do this. Oh, and you know how they sometimes have like a little trail behind them of stuff that was in the bag? Like a bracelet maybe, and a ring or something. Some stuff falling out. Little necklace. Sneaking away from the crime, right? Bad giraffe. Bad giraffe. Bad. Alrighty. Boop, boop, boop. Let's hide that sketch. There is our sneaky giraffe who just robbed somebody. Shame on him. Okay, excellent. Well, we've done it again. We've just made it in time. And we had a You Draw It, little favorite book action, and animal and activity, thanks to your suggestions. Be sure to tune in tomorrow at the same time, and we're going to get to hang out together again and do some more drawing. If you like this show, please go ahead and tell a friend about it. And if you are a parent, I would love it, actually. This is a favor I have to ask of you, to tell your art teachers at school about it, so they have something to share with the elementary school kids as an art activity for them to do if maybe art is important to them and they like to draw. Well, this is something that they could do. So it'd be great for teachers to know about it as well. I would appreciate that. Thank you very much. Alrighty, gang. Well, that's all for me today, and I'll see you here tomorrow, at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Pacific for more draw along fun. And until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Please remember to be kind, and I will say ciao for now.